Welcome. Honestly, when I think back to my time at Salisbury, certainly some. I don't reflect back on Salisbury times a lot. To be honest with you, I don't. When I left there, I was really ready to go. I mean, I needed to not be there anymore. Dude, I'm literally taking. I took English 101. Let me tell you this 3 times. You have to pass English 101 and 102,
Yeah.
right? That's a
Yeah.
requirement.
Yeah.
Well, I fucking bombed my first semester of school. I got a .3 GPA. I literally got an F in like 3 classes and got a C in 2 or something like that.
You really
No,
indulged in the college
yeah.
life.
And here's the thing: this guy never heard of something that everybody else was into, which is called dropping classes. So when you're bombing, you just drop it. You don't get that grade. It's just a dropped course.
Yeah.
I didn't drop anything. I just wrote out and never went and got Fs. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. So the thing is about school, there's like a forgiveness. You retake that class. That new grade replaces the grade. So you get an A, you take English 101 again, you get an A. That F is now an A, right? So I took English 101 again among other courses. And I also failed that. Yeah.
The second time
Yeah,
around.
now that was already on academic probation, but I got B's and everything else. So I needed to get a 2.5 or 7 to stay on academic probation and be able to keep going to the university. And I was like either right at it or even like slightly below. And I was like, come on. But when I took it again, remember that's 101. I had to get 102 done too. Well, then they started offering 103, which is a combination of the two. Dude, like, I don't know what. I'm not trying to not know so I can make a point of how pointless it was. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I have no idea what I did there. Like, I mean, I couldn't tell you anything that I did. I know that stuff got done. I don't know what they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it just had that little impact on my life and my mind and how anything that
I wouldn't say I'm opposed to college because I think there's actually there's
I definitely
something
would say that too. I'm not opposed to it at all.
There's something about college that's beneficial. But that being said, I think you're too young to be. I wouldn't say everyone's too young. I would say that the average high schooler that is going to a middle level university, I think they're just not educated enough about themselves and about what they want to do in their life to be going to University of Maryland $40,000 a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just a lot of money to not know what you're doing. Like I'm buying a car every single year for the next 4 years. And I don't know if I'm going to like the car.
Look,
it's crazy.
It's the money. I mean, when I think about it, and God bless my mother and father, they helped me. And I actually have some anger about the money that they spent. Because it kills me. Because, like, look what I'm. I don't like to look at it like this way. Because, like, honestly, the things that have happened, and that's what got me here. So who knows? You know what I'm saying? So, with that said. If I could if I was gonna go back and make something ideal, I mean, I would have stayed. I mean, like I'm in the restaurant business, right? I mean, I went to school for business, and my parents were like, yeah, look, and you're doing business, like because I'm learning business firsthand.
Yeah.
I'm part of like a business that my cousin runs and all that stuff, and I started and really kind of teach me the ropes of certain things. It was great. And my mother was like, yeah, see, you did business, but I'm like, here's the thing. I didn't learn. There's nothing that I'm here with that was from there that's helping me out. Like, I think the one thing that I got, I mean, there's things, what I say about college, what it did for me was it helped me callous a level of discipline. And when it came to, I learned I can't miss class because it's just too risky. I have to track down what did I miss, what's due, what did she say about this thing, and
it's a slippery slope to get behind.
So I always tell anybody who goes to class, I'm like, go to class, don't miss class, go to every class always. It makes things way less stressful. I mean, I still have nightmares every once in a while to this day where I've like in school and I realized that I'm like towards the end of the semester that there was a class that I had been enrolled in this whole time and I went the first day and I just stopped going and I forgot that that was I had a class. Like it's like I was in biology and I went the first day of biology, never went, and at the end of the semester I forgot that I was fucking supposed to be that I was in biology. And I'm like, oh shit, like fuck that paper that was due at the end of the semester, like this huge project I never did. I forgot I was part of it. Oh my god, like that feeling that I forgot.
Yeah.
God, it's a fucking, it's crazy. That's a nasty feeling, but
See, now I look at so now like in my job now, I actually have been a part of the hiring process for employees, and like they give like it's on a point scale, and they give a certain amount of points for education, like 4-year degree, master's, doctorate, like you get a certain amount of points rated on that. But they're starting to like weigh it less and less. Like I think for a bachelor's degree, you only get like 2 points up on anybody else in that's applying. I just really think that experience is starting that because how common bachelor's degrees are becoming.
right,
I really think that the experience level and the knowledge is far greater in actual hands-on experience rather than a 4-year degree just saying that
bro.
pretty much you can start and complete something and you can get something done and accomplished.
What I'm really not trying to say this because I had whatever my experience in college, and therefore I'm defining it all colleges by this experience. Like, I really am trying to be fair about this. Like, but I feel that people are gonna find themselves coming out of college and feeling like they're behind in the world and not ahead.
Oh yeah.
And they're gonna be like, fuck, I haven't, fuck.
Do you honestly know what I would have done? Like going all back. Now I don't think I would do this, but like a really not bad way to go is to in like 9th or 10th grade,
Yeah.
drop out, get your GED, and go right to college. And by
Right.
by 17, you got a 4-year degree.
Almost like you're right. Like, why not just do college when I'm 14? Like, why am I waiting?
if I can pass like at 15,
Yeah.
I knew all the basic math I really needed for a GED. I pretty much had my English pretty much narrowed down.
Yeah.
I lost most of my English skills in high school. Like so
That's funny. Like, really, I mean, I could have probably done my business courses in those years. I mean,
yeah.
when so at the snowball stand, like most of the girls that worked for me were private school girls, and they went to like a good private school in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I mean, when their school's in session, I would hear some of their what they have going on, and I'd look at some of their homework, and I was like, wow. I mean, this is like I see the difference. Like, you are being super held accountable. Like, you guys are like have to work through certain things. I'm like, well, this is good homework.
Yeah.
Like, this is heavy, kind of.
Yeah.
And
do you believe in homework?
I must not have because I never did it. At least I never did it at home. I literally was that guy every day scrambling in homeroom to figure out what it was, who has it, can I finish this? I mean, I got
Can I copy? Is it worth copying?
Bro, I really got into this habit in 8th grade. Right before I got into high school, I just stopped doing homework.
Yeah.
I just stopped it. I just stopped doing it. I got home, I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I can't do this. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm done. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, when I got home, I literally used to go home and just knock. I get off of school, and I remember I used to just knock out for, like, I mean, seriously.
What I always thought is you should have weekend work. Because I just put in 8 hours of schoolwork.
There's a lot of kids, if anybody's listening to this, there's a lot of kids that are going to, fuck you.
But listen, that's Monday.
They do have it.
But I always said you should not have homework Monday through Friday. Like, you just put in 8 hours of schoolwork. Your brain has been actively engaged in schoolwork. And nowadays, schoolwork is pretty intense, even for like elementary school. Like, I look at Marissa's math homework, and I'm like, wasn't doing that in 4th grade. And like, to her credit, like, she does great, but I'm sitting there like, almost 45 minutes to an hour doing our homework, doing like 36 problems, like reviewing them, making sure that they're correct.
You're spending half the time learning how to do it in the first place. Seriously,
luckily YouTube.
Yeah,
and now
everything's on there.
And now they have they're doing math a different way than they've ever done it before. Like they're using like the I forget what the method's called, but it's a different way of learning math.
Yeah, they're
like rounding numbers before they do the actual like.
Here's what I think is that education is obviously important. Like you and I literally started off this podcast was talking about how much we like learning and how it's discovering, and so I just think what's going to change is just what are we putting together, what systems, techniques, strategies, curriculum, or opportunities are we putting in place for anyone, youth, or whoever, to learn? Like, so what is it that we want them to learn? And what I think that we should be much more fundamental, like, who am I? Certainly technical skills, like certain math. I mean, I get that, but like, what am I? What do I want? And what are things that are in line with that? And like, how do I learn more about, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I really want to, what?
$1 million idea right now. A company that goes onto YouTube and vets YouTube providers and creates universities out of YouTube videos.
So like, that already is, from my understanding, happening. Yeah. So like, this is where I was going to go next. That because like me and my girlfriend were talking about like even education one time, and I said, and I was reflecting back, and I said, honestly, like my kid wants to know, like, I don't want to pay for all this money for college for my child. I mean, like, I'm like, if you want to do it, I can help or whatever. But like, YouTube. I mean, seriously, and like, so like, what I think what YouTube's gonna do, I think it's gonna offer itself. I think it's wonderful, and I think things like that are gonna offer a much more customizable marketplace for customizable learning that's tailored to different types of people, and that you can, and I think it's gonna be wonderful. I really do, and I think that stuff like that, there are universities that are through YouTube, or there's educational systems that are for that on YouTube. I'm pretty sure.
If you spent 8 hours a day researching how to run restaurants, how to pace a restaurant, how to develop plans, like how to structure, you'd be way farther ahead than taking like 1 year of college, if that's what you're going to end up doing. Like if you know that's what you want to do at the end of college, like you want to open up your own business or open up your own restaurant or something, like I just find like YouTube for me is like everything. Like I can spend
everything.
I spend 8 hours on YouTube or 4 hours of YouTube, like researching a specific topic.
You're right.
Your knowledge level is like astronomical. You start talking like educated about it, I'm like, YouTube killer.
It's unreal. Yeah. I mean, you're totally right. I think, and I think that's just like, so like, even when I thought about like kids, it's like, okay, so I have a son, and he's like,
you do have a son, or is this is make believe, right?
This is make believe.
Okay. You said I have a son. Just for the viewers, he does not have a son.
Thank you. But I was saying, let's say if I had a son, let's say I have one.
Yeah.
And we're older, and he's getting to 18. He's gonna graduate high school, and he's like, I want to go to fucking UCLA, or like USC, like Southern California, right? I'd say
scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And so I'd be like, oh, here's the thing. I'd be like, listen here, guy. That's great. Let me ask you a follow-up question. Do you want to go to that school, or do you just want to go to Southern California and be out there? Because if so, like, we can figure out a way for you to like get out there. Like let's say, all right, let's find a means of income. Let's find a means for your shelter, and they kind of get you going a little bit. And sure, like, you don't need to indebt yourself because you want to go out there and learn. you might get out there and get exposure to people that go to that university, that you watch you go to some of their free things on campus, and then you're like, you know what, I need to be at this university. I mean, probably like, I think you just want to go somewhere, and I think you just want to experience being somewhere else and who you potentially might be.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, no. That's exactly what most kids are searching for. I think that go away. Really get me the fuck out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
Just let me go out and be. There's also that fear of everybody else is doing it, so I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I just don't think a 17-year-old's ready to be like, guess what? Moving to Southern California, get my own apartment.
Yeah.
Gonna find my own job. Gotta grocery shop for myself. Gotta buy my own TP. Like, there's just a lot of things that go into that I at 17 I would not be ready for.
Okay.
That's why I think colleges are like a great next step. But you have but when you pull that trigger, I just think it's paramount that you know exactly what you want to do.
See, I think that you're probably right, but I also think that I'd also argue the point that it doesn't prepare you. It prolongs this fantasy that you live in where things are available to you and easy. So even the kids that were like, well, I fucking put myself through, my parents didn't help me. I'm like, okay, you took a loan. So somebody gave you money, right? In this case, it was a bank, okay? A bank gave you money. You didn't have to do anything for that money. You just had to, maybe you had to have some kind of income. But point is, like, and I'm not taking away from, like, the hardships of that and the weight of that at all, but it was still money given to you and used and to at a place that was basically provides food. And if it's not on campus, there's things right there off campus that are obviously there to supply that marketplace. Half of them let you use the campus card that you can upload your points to, that you bought your meal plan with the money that you got loaned to you from a bank or mom and dad, whatever, whoever gave you money. Problem is with the banks, like, they're like, all right, motherfucker, you gotta pay me back, right? And so, like, but like, you're still like living this fantasy world. Like, you didn't have that money. You don't have the means to do that. Like, you're not. This isn't something that you're able to do yet, but we're letting you think that you can because we've decided. You know what I mean? Like, it's you don't have the means to put yourself. You're being loaned a shit ton of money, like, and you don't have any proof that you're going to be able to pay it back. You've literally, your only job was fucking frying chicken, maybe at Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have
but that's also the banks that are taking advantage of situations.
Yeah, and I can't blame them. I mean, fine,
but if they do that, that's one aspect. But tell me this. How can they loan a 17-year-old like
40 G's? I'm like, what? Dude?
Yeah, 40 G's. But then that's the only debt that if you file bankruptcy that stays with you.
I know. So like that's what's fucked up. So the thing is like I knew my friends and like a girl that I dated. Like, I was my girlfriend in college. I mean, she was a girl who literally had to get student loans.
Yeah.
When that check hit. Dude, she was broke in like 2 weeks. Now that was her. You know what I mean? That was not everybody was like that. People really were more responsible. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, she wasn't ready for that.
No,
she shouldn't have had that.
Nobody's ready to see at 17.
She was buying shit for everybody.
A $2,000 check, $3,000 check, at 17 years old, hitting your wallet. And no parents.
I thought I was a lottery winner when she was like I was like $2,000. You gotta be. That's nobody has that much money.
Yeah.
What are you, Bill Gates?
Yeah.
I was just like, how the fuck do you lay your hands on that much money? She's like, yeah, we were buying. And then I also learned how fast money can go, and that no amount is too high for you to spend it quick as shit. Like,
not when all your friends are broke too. Like, if you got the money and you're trying to have a good time.
Especially when you're new and you're meeting people and you're like, fuck it, I got loans. And you're just like, girl, this is money you're going to have to pay back and you're spending it on us.
Yeah.
Thanks. But, you know, I mean, I felt so bad because like I was the benefactor of some of this, and my parents were paying for my college. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, here I am using this girl's who's borrowing it from a bank who's never gonna let this fucking thing go. I mean, the banks. I mean, it's so right because it's like, look, you've kind of decided socially and culturally that college is like almost like religion in the sense it's holy, that it's never wrong to go, right? And so we've decided that a fucking minor, a adolescent or a 17-year-old kid has the means to borrow a great deal of money,
Oh yeah.
that he's able to make that he or she's able to make that type of decision, that you wouldn't let them take that money and use it to buy, like, I can't think of something that's is equal, but like
A car.
yeah,
You're not going to give a 17-year-old a $20,000 loan to buy a Honda Civic to get to and from his
classes because he's not living on campus.
his
Right.
classes. Or how about just, I don't want to go to college, or I'm not ready for college. I'm going to continue working at Chick-fil-A, but I need a car to get to and from my house. No bank's giving them $20,000 to buy a car, but they're gonna give them $40,000 to attend a university.
Yeah. So basically, forget that it's school or cars.
Yeah.
You're giving somebody money based off a decision they decided to do with their life. So we've decided that anytime a kid's decided to go to college, that's always the right thing. And the thing is, it shouldn't cost that much money. I mean, or so be careful with that. If it costs that much money, then it costs that much money. But to me, I would not spend that money. Like honestly, if like I was right now, like all right, the thing is when you're 30, dude, like it's college time, and like I'm like all right, what's that? And they're like, it's this place you can do that, and you learn, you fucking live, and they got cafeterias, and you get blowjobs from girls at frat parties. Like, all right, that part's kind of sick, and they're like. But you know, it costs this amount of money. You gotta get this thing. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm just gonna figure another route out. That's not so much. I mean, so like, yeah, I'd rather move to fucking Arizona and Phoenix and find a job there and learn what living is. I mean, dude, so when you say yeah, he's not ready to grocery shop, yeah, he's not. But that's how you start. You never start something ready. You start something like that's gonna stretch you. So I mean, I gotta tell you, dude, I've been ready to do any of this shits. Like honestly, I've been stunted since college. Like I've really got out and like kind of just made enough money to buy food all the time, or like you know, I really wasn't. I needed you know, at least it just prolonged a little bit of a fantasy for me, and so I think that that's even the case for the people that get these loans. Like I said, it's forget that you're got it from mom, or dad, your aunt, your grandma, you did it, or I'm sorry, like or the bank. It's still money that you didn't create that's given to you to spend.
Listen, I don't think. I just don't think that kids are at 17 years old are really. I don't think they know what $40,000 is, let alone compounded interest over a student loan over like a 30-year payback or whatever it is. Because I know you can pay it back over like a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
it's unreal.
It's unreal. It's an unreal. It's a cycle.
Dude, $40,000. I know we keep sticking on this figure of 40 grand because I think it's.
Is that a year?
Some schools it's not even.
Like, what did Salisbury cost a year?
Maybe like 10. So yeah,
10
that'd be 40 for.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's 40.
And that was meals and lodging and everything?
My mother and father could have 40 extra. That was just my college. My brother went to William & Mary, which is like 30 G's a year. Yikes. Dude, like, my mother and father did not need to do that. It kills me that they did. Honestly,
just make enough and pay it back. Do it like all the rich guys do. You know what I mean? Like, be so successful that you get to buy mom and pops like a house.
It's not gonna happen for a little bit of time. You know, my mind went somewhere different for a second. I don't know if like diving into all the shit that was just in my mind just now, but like, Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's a lot of money that they spend, is all I'm saying, man, for what? And like, here I am working at a restaurant. Yep.
I I hear it all the time, man. I hear it all the time. Guys are like coming to like cop job fairs and
Mm-hmm.
federal job fairs and everything, and they're always like, "Well, I got my 4-year degree," and I'm like, "You need some experience," and they're like, "But I graduated." I'm like, "But you need some experience," and they just don't get
Yeah.
it. I mean, a lot of kids really think that the
Oh,
next step after college is like
60 G's.
60G. Like, show me the pay.
Wasn't for this guy.
I was like, it really doesn't
Well, I
happen
got
like
out
that,
of
man.
college. I was making, like, at my first job, I was making $30,000.
I mean, that's
And which
entry
is,
level, entry
yeah,
level.
fine. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even
Yeah,
think anything of it. But and I was able to more than double that by the time that I left that particular company. But I, you didn't need to. I mean, like, dude, I mean, there's servers that make $100,000 a year. Like, you don't. There's the thing is, what I don't like is that anything is something you learn. Okay, so like, what I actually really don't appreciate, and it's not something that I would necessarily would do, but I don't appreciate the attitude towards things and the misconceptions. Is that, like, you look at somebody's electrician, like, they're learning a lot about something.
oh
Okay,
yeah,
and then you're like, well, I went to college. Okay, but you're just learning a lot about something else. It's just like, it's all learning a lot about something. So, like,
yeah.
you've just kind of classed topics, like, socially. You've kind of, like, these, there's like classism almost to, like, professions or things you're doing. I'm like, but these guys are, like, gonna make more than the guy who went to college and is working at T. Rowe Price for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? The guy's gonna make maybe
Yeah.
max 80 grand
Yeah.
because they don't, because you gotta, at a certain point, you gotta kind of push yourself further. I mean, the only certain people, fewer and fewer people push themselves to the point where they're gonna make more and more. You have to be a certain type of person who wants that and goes after it and figures out how to
Well,
do it.
and I think I think the classing portion goes into a lot of like misnomers on what people do. Like, I mean,
Like plumbers are great business, dude. Like
well, and most of
it's a
them,
lot to know.
yeah, and a lot of them go into business for themselves eventually. Eh,
Most do. I mean, they run their own business and they have their own jobs and they know a lot about things and they have a shit ton of experience. And it's like, okay, well then forget that it's called plumbing and just it's a thing that they're doing and they're making money at. Like, I looked at with restaurants, dude. Like, look at my cousin. Like, he's like I looked at restaurants like, that's restaurants. That's something you do when you are on break from school, right? It's an industry. It's a business.
oh yeah,
Like, one of the things that my cousin had said to me, he's like, when I was thinking about coming to work, he's like, if you look at this like a career, like, the sky's the limit. I mean, like, you can. This is a career. This is an industry of millions and billions of dollars, or whatever. I don't know how much money's in the
yeah.
rest, but the point is, it's just like, so. Like, why do I think why am I going in thinking that this doesn't count? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I was in my head.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't count. This isn't related to, like, I worked at T. Rowe Price and they're like, oh, it's finance and you had to have gone to college for that. Let me tell you this right now. This guy did not need to go to college to do the things I was doing at T. Rowe and what I was eventually going to do. Now, I needed to learn things, and if I was going to keep going, I had to get certain designations, get
Yeah.
smart. But, like, that's okay. That's a bit of a specific thing in a field. I could have started
Yeah.
studying that shit fucking out of high school.
With a T-Row textbook.
Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, we're like, with finance, like, look, you're gonna finance. You need to know these things, these fucking analysis and risk formulas, wherever the fuck, and approaches to finance mathematically and all that stuff. And I didn't need a college education to have gotten to be able to do that stuff. And so, like, I mean, I was selling things, and I was selling things that I learned about through the company I worked for. Man, I should have just worked for T. Rowe Price right when I graduated high school.
So,
You know,
yeah. So on that same note, what occupations do you think you need college for? Like, obviously, I would say anything in the medical industry,
That's
you got to go to college
you
for
need.
it.
Sir, forget the word college. Okay, there's certain things you need a curriculum of education
Yeah,
for. Yeah,
medical field,
medical doctor. Like I'm
en-
sure
engineers.
you need that for electricians. Need
Yeah,
that. You need
yeah.
it. You need that for. That's why they go to
But
school. You need that.
electrician, like I really think that like 2 years OJT on the job training, like with an experienced electrician, like I could do it.
Yeah, but I
Like
think,
if a guy
dude,
talk me through
you
it,
could say
you
the
could do it.
same thing with like medical, dude. Like, all right, I'm just gonna literally shadow you, be a doctor, and all the things that come up, and like,
I think doctors really need that formal education.
yeah, but like, I think same thing. Electricity, dude. You understand how huge electricity is? Like, dude, there's more nuances than you realize, dude.
Yeah.
I realized that even just in working in the restaurant game, like, oh shit, there's a lot of nuance. Like, I underestimated the things about food
Yeah.
and safety and allergy. Like, I mean, like, holy shit, this is very thorough. Like, to me, I'm like, just have walls and an oven and fucking something hot to put food on, and forks or not. Just give someone everyone on a plate and you get, and it's just like, holy shit, there's a lot of in-depth things about it, but.
Ladies and germs, this is gonna go against probably I'd say 80% of my coworkers and people in my career field, but a useless college degree, useless criminal justice.
I feel like a lot of
you
girls do that.
Listen, everything you learn in there is not applicable, unless you're going for like a law degree. Like really, I mean, outside of that, like a criminal justice degree doesn't teach you how to be a cop. It doesn't teach you how to be a lawyer. It doesn't teach you how to be a judge. In the career field, in itself, it really doesn't teach you much. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't. I mean, everything you learn, you can be a cop without a local cop or a federal cop without really a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what did you? I have no idea what type of education that actually provides, because everything really is provided through an academy or through formal training when you get hired on with these agencies. So I don't know. That's a weird one too.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of that. Okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, tons of. Almost like even the business class school that I went through was just like.
Teach me how to balance a checkbook. Teach me how to spend my money wisely and not spend so much money on food and budgeting money. Like, teach me how to change the oil in my car so I don't give Jiffy Lube $45 every couple months. You know what I mean?
Changing your oil actually isn't that much more cost effective if you do it yourself, considering
Really?
the time that you put in and everything.
For my diesel, it is. It's
Like,
a it's
I don't know,
it's like it's $100 kit you can buy, but it's $400 if you take it to the BMW dealership.
Whatever. I'm not really stepping on a sturdy branch here. So.
Yeah, no, it is for
Like,
that, but like for that one, it's actually worth it. But like, teach me life things. Send me out to
Right.
the world. Like, stop preparing me for individual career fields. Let me figure that out on my own. Teach me life.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
sure. Like teach me fundamental things that will be helpful
Bring
and
back,
useful.
bring back like shop ed. Bring back like
It's so funny you say that,
driver's
dude.
ed. Why
I would have had way more when I swear to God, I was just thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I need to be handier. And I was just like, I wish they should have been like very strict about the fucking the what do they call it, the classes in school where you had to like cut wood,
tech ed,
right?
Tech ed.
Like there should have been a lot more than it. We should have held a lot more accountable because the thing that it is just like making decisions about completing something that needs to have a certain function as the result of it, and like you need to be figure out you need to make that happen.
Yeah.
And there's the craftsmanship that's required, and there's like the fact that people are like get rid of that. It's like I think we're kind of forgetting what that is, like why that's so important, and not even just for the content itself, but almost the way that you're learning, hands touching things and learning through that.